This is a main trunk road, a major artery in and out of London. Always has been for centuries.
It's very nearby central London, therefore we don't miss any opportunities, amenities or facilities that central London can offer us.
I've lived here a long time. I've lived in the area basically all my life.
I've lived in West Hendon for about 11 months.
Okay.
So I'm relatively a new resident.
Well, I've been here since 2001, so about 16 years.
17 years. I moved in when I was about 24 years old.
I have been in West Hendon 26 years over on the old estate, so then 2 years on this new pub.
17 years.
You get older, you put down roots, there's people that you know, people that you care about. And
West Hendon is my home. I've made it my home, and it will always be my home.
Jasmine Parsons is one of the oldest residents of West Hendon. She has strong political opinions and is very active in the community, particularly in trying to preserve the history of the area. She has invited me into her home to share some of her knowledge.
I mean, the community was good. It was very good. So you could go from one end of the estate to the other, you'd know some people. The West Hendon Broadway could cater for absolutely everything from cradle to grave. Anything you wanted, whether it be stonemasons, radio repairs, ironmongers, cakes, butchers, funeral, it was all there. This has always been a working class area. The aviation industry, that's just going toward Colindale. That's how many people used to live and work around. You see them all queuing up, ready for the tram. You've got others just bolting on the back of the lorry after finishing work. I'm not sure how it goes, to be honest, but basically that's the song Warner's Old Welsh Harp.
And he's talking about the jolliest place that's out. Referring to the Welsh Harp.
Yeah, and this was the merriest girl that was out. So that was it, the Costa Serenade and the merriest girl that's out. Those are the two songs about this area. Right, well that's, as you know, is about the aircraft industry, and that's just basically going down to Colindale. This was later taken over by BT, so it became a massive BT building before they got rid of it, and it's became the Chinese centre where Asda's and that Morrison's and that is now. So that's GBM Motors. This was Duple's, where my mammy used to work. Duple's was a coachworks.
Coachworks, yes.
Yeah. So that's where Sainsbury's is now. This was a really bustling business, and as you see, engineering was a major factor along Edgware Road and Hendon and Colindale and that in particular. This is more out the memorial, so basically remembering like when people actually died from the bomb. This is the bull-faced stag up in between Burnt Oak going towards Edgware. This place was actually used as a temporary mortuary for when the people died, so they brought the bodies up to there because they didn't want them too close to here, because they didn't want people to realise how many people had actually died, because it was bad for morale. You get the armistice on the 11th of November, but making a big show like that is one thing, but really the local things which happen important to local people is something else. So there's memories which, you know, people need to actually understand, you know, because once it's gone, once I'm gone, who's going to be telling it? That's Staples Corner without the flyover. That's Hendon Broadway. This is coming up towards Cricklewood, and you can see it from the other side This is going towards, this is where Brent Cross is now.
What was on the site before Brent Cross? Were they just marshland as well? Race course.
Yeah. It used to be the same as Wembley, Haringey and Walthamstow. This was Hendon Central when it first started. That's the station. This was the latest one. You see you had a big roundabout. Yeah, and there's still some tram lines still there. You always hear about the kings, queens, the duke and this, that and the other, yeah. So well, what about the ordinary people? No, some of them live very bad lives. I mean, some of them lived decent lives.
West Hendon has seen dramatic development in the recent years, and this has meant uncertainties for some and new beginnings for others.
Being a non-secure tenant is a little bit unsteady, a little bit worrisome for me. But at the end of the day, I'm an optimistic person and I hope something positive will come out. At the end of the day, West Hendon is my home. I've made it my home. And I hope at the time when the buildings are knocked down, that there will be something available for me.
When you go looking at the old estate, all of us knew each other. And we made a point to look up and say hello. Whereas when you go to the newer buildings, even where we are now, people don't look at each other. They'd rather put their head down and, you know, even getting the lift and things. There's very few people that want to talk to each other.
Originally, the blocks were, if you were on the ground floor, the blocks were, you were all on one front. The front was all open. They divided it into small garden areas afterwards. So you tended to get all the kids play together.
Now I'm off the estate. And I'm obviously in a different part of the estate. It's nice, it's quiet, and you just sort of, I just keep myself to myself, and then if I see my neighbours, I talk to them, and it's really nice. I like it anyway.
How do you feel about your new place?
Love it, absolutely love it. Compared to the old place, this is fantastic. There's loads of room, it's bright, it's nice.
And how do you like your new place at Dunnock House?
I love it actually. Yeah, it's big. I thought it wasn't going to be. I got a bit upset about me leaving because our space that we have in the maisonettes and the 2-bed maisonettes are very big. So we've got a really nice space. They're like big houses. So when we had to move, I was a bit worried about it. Now, look at it, and it's actually big enough for, I would say, you know, for a disabled person to live there comfortably. It's a nice space. The doors are big, the area is big, and I think it's fine actually. I'm happy with it.
And your son, is he happy now?
Yeah, he is, yeah. Yeah, he still has moments where he misses the place, but I think he likes his new room. I had to really make it home, and as a single parent, that's quite difficult to work and then try to make the space, you know, just right for them. So
where I am, it was ideal because then it meant that, like Sainsbury's, they were doing rhyme time, so I could take my little one to rhyme time. Then you've got Baby Gym, which is down in Brent Cross, in the gym down in Brent Cross. So I took her Baby Gym. So everything was just ideal. I was right in the middle, and I can get to places.
The other thing I like with West Hendon is that it feels like living in the countryside of London, of England in general. There is a huge park nearby, there's a lovely lake.
The Welsh Harp, I didn't know about it for years actually, and my neighbour was like, you have to go and have a look.
The Welsh Harp was a great tourist attraction for thousands of Victorians for quite a decade.
And what was the main attraction? The lake?
The lake, you could fish, you could boat, there was galas, swimming, pheasant hunting, all sorts of stuff.
The area is deemed a site of scientific interest. There's an active Welsh Harp conservation group which builds nesting for the birds on the reservoir. The most important thing for the residents is that the green space is preserved, really, and the natural areas. A lot of people, it's a lovely area. It's like being in the countryside, really, but you're still in the London postcode.
The only downside is that there's no youth clubs. There's nothing for kids on the estate, which is quite poor, and that means that loads of youngsters are hanging out on the streets when really there should be something for them.
The community hub is for residents, and it is here to deliver services, particularly for residents, but also for residents to participate in services which are being delivered.
There is lots going on at the hub. There's lots of courses on different subjects, and it's very well liked by local people.
Excellent. Give yourselves a clap, ladies.
I think it's really important for the local community. The reason being because they're ladies that are coming from a background where they've had no support or come out of the education system, so they've been left through the system. With this free course, it's helped them to develop, it's helped them to progress in relation to their personal skills, so their interaction skills, as well as getting them back into focus and in relation to getting them ready back for work.
I joined the West Hendon Community Hub last year in May, and since this time I have volunteered on various different projects run at the West Hendon Community Hub. I started as a community researcher where I helped conduct the initial assessment to see what the residents would like to see in the area, as well as delivered in the West Hendon Community Hub. After that, it led on to a communities working futures group, which was designed to see how we could meet the residents' needs, as well as putting provisions in place to involve the whole community. After this, I was offered a position as a media officer where I got some training from Metropolitan Thames Valley Housing to give me the necessary skills to run the Facebook page and promote different programs that we're running in the West Hendon Community Hub.
I've actually set something up in my local community. It's called Connecting Neighbours, because obviously there was that need for people to get together and come out of their homes, and so that they can interact and just find that connection that they once had before.
And we've done 2 events so far. I'm helping her. She's the one that arranged it all originally. So we've had 2 events so far in the hub just down the road, which actually turned out really well. We thought maybe 30 people. I think we've got 60 plus. And there'll be another event in sort of March time. I think there's going to be 6 throughout the year.
I've been a therapist for about 20 years now, so I do holistic therapies, and then I go and visit people around the area and different parts of London.
And is Karma Mama involved with the community hub?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do. So basically, people can come and get vouchers from the hub and come and get a trial treatment, and then do a bit of meditation, and then decide that they know me and they've met me. They can come and have something at home.
The focus is to see how best we can support people.
So we make sure we deliver courses that people need. Now the aim of our courses is to ensure people engage with their community, improve their employability skills, and improve their chances of getting into employment.
Like the course that I done it in the hub, got my induction on my childcare, going to do my level 1 in certificate. Make more courses like that.
It helps the residents of West Hendon to come together, to meet each other, to become friends, to do things together, and spend their time in a very creative way.
So far, the hub has done a brilliant job. Andrew Bindi inherited a blank canvas, and he's done a lot with this. And in the future, I hope that will be built up on. And
Hopefully that they'll provide something for the younger people in the future, so that they don't miss out on a situation where they could actually turn it into something positive.
There needs to be youth clubs. There needs to be something for youngsters instead of them being on the streets. Then they're hanging on the streets and then they're getting in trouble and they're doing wrong things.
Who do you think is responsible for this?
Government.
Do you think the community hub is enough, or should there be more?
At the moment we have the community hub, and then there's the one on Marsh Drive which will be shutting. I think that part will turn into a school and a few other things for children. And then there's also the Scouts Place. There's the water place which is for canoeing and also for sailing. And so they do the cadets there, so there's the youth stuff there. So if they keep things going like that and actually give them some funding towards younger people kind of, you know, finding their way in those things, then I think that'd be great.
I want this one to get far in life, and I want something, you know, I want her to be able to go to something and enjoy it, and I want her to be safe, you know. It's not all about us, it's about them as well, and it's about their future.